use these tools. There has to be somebody on your team who is an expert on these tools.
Hello, Sir Erwin. Good afternoon. Ako yung audio to. Okay.
Mic test, mic test, sound check, one, two, three. Can you guys hear my audio now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Oh, great. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me just get into my desktop first. How are you guys doing in Mandaue? Kamusta ang COVID dyan?
Yes sir, okay lang sir. Kayo dyan. Parang marami yatang cases dyan ngayon sir.
Oo, mataas ang cases sa Manila. Pero wala ako sa bubble ngayon. So, I'm not sure if our connection is better. Hopefully it is.
Okay.
Hindi ako makalog in. So, give me a second. Okay, so while I'm trying to fix my desktop here, perhaps we can start with volunteers coming from your team who'd like to talk about their experience with how they took the imagery using Mapillary. Can we have volunteers to do that?
Volunteers. Sir Ace. Ano sir? As of now kasi kami-kami lang din naman na nandito pa.
Mm-mm.
So nung kumuha kami ng images ng Mapillary, kami-kami din yung magkakasama.
Okay. Sige, okay lang. If there's anything that you want to share, kung you think there are steps that can help improve the process, or just talk about your experience and let's see what insights you can share.
Yes sir. Hindi pa naman kompleto talaga yung bike lanes na ginawa namin yung inimap namin sir. Hindi pa talaga kompleto kasi dinivide namin yung grupo into uh, pairs para kumuha ng kasi yung bike lanes po dito pag ano yung daan is two-way. So magkabilaan po yung bike lanes. So dinivide po namin yung grupo bali is
Wait, sorry. I think that's me.
ako ang nag-feedback. Oh. Hello sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yun po, dinivide namin tapos yung ibang mga bike lanes na included doon sa phase 1, hindi pa po kasi nalagyan ng mga bollards yung iba kaya we tend to skip it na lang muna kasi pag kunan siya sa Mapillary, di rin naman makikita yung mga bollards. So hindi rin maano na bike lane yun. So
Okay.
yung plan po namin, yun yung merong mga bollards. I hope you can see it in Mapillary. Kaya
Yeah.
lang yes sir, nakapag-upload kami pero medyo hindi po yata kompleto pa yung na-upload ng ano. Kasi sa amin, sa Mapillary namin is upload din na yung images pero I guess there still it has to be checked by Mapillary yata bago nila ipapasok dun sa map. So, yung iba dito is hindi pa nakikita.
Okay.
Yeah, part of it lang. Pero ano po, ito nasa Uano Avenue na lane, tapos na po to sa ano both sides. Pati po
Okay.
yung nasa Mandaue International Drive. Tapos na rin po yun both sides. Kaya lang hindi pa nare-reflect dito sa mapa po ng Mapillary.
Ganon. Okay, sige. That's normal. Like I said in our last session, there's a delay in the processing of the uploaded photos. But rest assured, sorry about the noise. But rest assured that the photos you uploaded to Mapillary will eventually show up. It's just that it might take several hours to several days dahil right now they're in transition yung back end nila. But as you've seen, some of the photos are already available, and I think that we have enough photos that we can use for our exercise today.
Yes po.
Okay. Are there any other people who'd like to talk about? I've seen at least 3 people. Ishiot, yung account ni Sir Eugene, tapos, sino pa ba yung isa? May isa pang pangalan ako nakita eh. Maybe you'd like to share your experience with us? And if
Si
you
Sir
have any
Estong,
questions?
Sir Estong at
Yes, sir.
saka si Sir JP Francisco po. Kasama dun sa nag-upload ng mga photos.
Would you guys like to talk about, nagkaroon ba kayo ng issues? Did you encounter any issues while collecting imagery?
Ano po?
May mga naging problema ba? Or
Ano po, so far, yung kung nakita niyo po nung first na comment niyo po is we're having gaps. Kasi try pa kami ng capture po, tsaka di pa namin gaano kabisado. Kaya medyo
Okay.
naputol-putol siya. But then when we riding that vehicle, so far okay naman po. Kaya medyo natuloy-tuloy na yung iba. So I just have to give the floor, I guess, to Sir Ace, so that he may also talk about his experiences.
Go ahead, sir. Sir Ace, baka nakamute ka pa.
Oh, he's having technical difficulties po. Sandali lang.
Okay, we'll wait. Sige. So while we're waiting for Ace, I'd like to let you know that we're expecting a guest today to join us and to share their experience at the LGU level, at the barangay level, how they use Mapillary for their own project. So let's hope that we can do that after your team has shared their recent experience using Mapillary. Hintay-hintayin lang natin. But Sir Ace can go ahead when he's ready.
Sir, narinig niyo ba, sir?
Ayun, may echo lang, may feedback lang.
Okay na, sir?
Okay, much better.
Okay. So far sir, ang mga technical difficulties lang na na-experience namin is may I think may gap dito sa may ano niya sir ba, yung GPS niya sa amin sir. Mahina kasi yung connection sa ibang mobile na ginamit namin.
Okay.
Yun lang sir.
So are you saying na, yeah, dito halimbawa, no, nakikita niyo ba yung desktop ko ngayon? Yung screen ko?
Yes,
so ito ngayon yung areas na so far na available na kinuha ninyo recently, your team. So thank you for contributing these images to Mapillary. We will be using this for our OSM editing exercises later. But for now, I'd like to discuss some of the issues you've mentioned so we can resolve them and avoid them next time you cover the rest of the areas you'd like to add into Mapillary. With regard to accuracy of the location, there are several factors that can affect that. Like I said before, the quality of the chip that's in your phone is a factor. So, wala na tayong magagawa pag nandiyan na yung telepono ninyo. But there are ways to improve that. When you're collecting imagery, ayun, tanong nga pala, hindi ko na, paano nyo kinabit yung mga telepono ninyo sa sasakyan? O hinawakan nyo lang?
Bare hands.
By hand. O. So, nangawit siguro kayo dahil medyo mahaba yung tinakbo yung sa Kuano Avenue. Kung meron tayong mga holders for the device, medyo mas maganda yon kasi may iiwan natin at hindi kayo mga ngawit paghawak habang tumatakbo yung sasakyan ninyo. Tapos, if you can download the AGPS information before you go out, that will help in getting faster or more accurate locations for your photos. Other than that, we'll have to rely on whatever is on your phone. Pero sa tingin ko naman, you did pretty well. The location of most of the photos I've seen today are okay. It appears to be close enough for our purposes. So what I'm going to show you today, among other things, is how we can edit the location of the photo if you need to adjust it. How we can start adding data into OpenStreetMap using the photos we've added. And then, if we have time, we'll see if I can introduce extra tools apart from the ID editor in adding data in OpenStreetMap. Would you have any more questions with regard to the data collection exercise you did? Meron ba kayong problem na encounter na nahirapan kayo o na challenge kayo?
Ano po, question lang po, Sir Erwin.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Ito bang images na nakuha natin sa sa Mapillary, we can import this ba dun sa OpenStreetMap?
Okay. Mapillary is a separate service. OpenStreetMap is just about mapping data. So the photos themselves are what do you call this? The photos themselves are not directly imported in OpenStreetMap, but we can use the photos to add data to OSM. And there are also techniques to link photos and the map features, yung mga minamapa nating elements, so that the corresponding mapillary images can be linked to the feature. Kunyari, bicycle parking, bike rack. Tapos gusto nating mag-upload ng photos. Pwede natin yung makita sa OpenStreetMap. So the question is, it cannot be directly imported into OpenStreetMap, but you can use the photos to add data into OSM. Ano ba sir yung sir? Bakit yung tinanong kung bakit pwedeng i-import? Ano yung gusto yung mangyari or gawin?
Kasi po, di po ba yung main goal natin ngayon is for the bike lanes to be presented.
Yes, sir.
So are we going to map out again the bike lanes in OpenStreetMap other than yung footages na nakuha namin through Mapillary?
Yes, sir.
Kasi
So,
kasi po pag hindi, ang follow-up question ko po is gagawin po ba namin ulit yung pagmamap ng bike lanes para magre-reflect po ba dun sa OpenStreetMap? Kasi as you said, we cannot use the data that we gathered in Mapillary, only the photos taken. So
yes.
would it mean na gagawin ulit pagdating dun sa OpenStreetMap?
Yeah, okay. Now I understand the question. First of all, what we did was to collect imagery. We were just taking photos. The photos by themselves will not directly, will not mean that it automatically gets mapped. Nakikita natin yung location ng photos, pero hindi ibig sabihin nagkakaroon bigla ng bike lanes. Yun yung editing na ginagawa natin sa OpenStreetMap. We collect photos so that we would have additional evidence or sources. So for editing OpenStreetMap. So we're going to do that. Today we're going to start with using the Mapillary website. Paano mag-view, we probably have done it, but I'm going to show you the steps. I'm also going to show you how to extract some of the artificial intelligence detections, yung AI or machine learning detections created by Mapillary to detect objects in the photos that we can add in OSM. Pero yung portion na where we actually add the data to OSM, tao pa rin yung gumagawa nun. Tayo. So that is our objective today. Learn how to get the information from Mapillary using the photos you took and add that information into OpenStreetMap so that it will reflect on the maps that are specifically, for example, specifically designed to show bike lanes, for example. Okay? So for now, sir, yung answer ko partial pa lang until we do the exercise later.
Okay po. Just side bit lang konti. Is this session, Sir Erwin, recorded?
Yes, I forgot to mention that. So, preliminaries for everyone. The session is being recorded on YouTube. I want to apologize about the video last time. Apparently, they were trying to crop the video and it got cut. Doon sa hindi dapat makrop. So, nawala. But this time, again, we're recording this and the video is going to be available in the Pista ng Mapa channel. If you're interested in just watching the video, although walang makikipag-interact sa inyo, the address of the video is here. Let me just share it on. Okay, sir. So I'll just go to the preliminaries, yung formalities ng session. So we're starting our webinar. For everyone's information, this session is being recorded in YouTube. And by attending this session, everyone's expected to abide by our code of conduct. So basically, our code of conduct is to ensure that there's a free exchange of idea and information without feeling, so that everyone can participate. All information and content are provided as is. All views, thoughts, ideas, and opinions expressed by participants are personal and not necessarily shared by the organizations or initiatives associated with them or mentioned herein. If you are going to share your camera or screen sharing, please take the necessary precautions to safeguard your private and personal information. Okay, so sandali lang, nagte-text yung bisita natin. I'll just give them the link to our website. Okay, while I'm doing this, would anyone like to ask any more questions that I can answer while doing this? Sorry, multitasking ako.
Ano po, question lang. Ito bang YouTube na recording po can be downloaded?
Yes, sir. Although hindi pwedeng direct na download sa YouTube, merong mga tools na pwedeng gamitin para mag-download. Kung wala kayo nun, remind me later and I can share you a downloaded copy. I can do it for you.
Wala po kami yan.
Okay, sige. Libre lang naman yun eh. Pero pwede natin i-download. Pero pwede nyo rin panoorin sa YouTube at pwede rin kayo mag-iwan ng comments or questions. Ang advantage nun is if you leave the questions in YouTube, kung may similar questions yung ibang tao, hindi na sila kailangan magtanong, masasagot na natin and everyone else can benefit.
Okay po. And then I would like also to request before we end this session later to have photo ops perhaps, so that
nalimutan natin yan last time, wala tayong group fee.
For documentation purposes po.
Sige sir, walang problema. Let's do that.
Salamat po, Sir Erwin.
Yes sir. Sir, may isa pala akong request. Is it possible for Sir Eugene and Sir Marlo, if it's possible for us to have a meeting after the webinar? May tanong lang ako about our plans after this.
Yeah, on my side, sir, it will be just fine. I have to ask Sir Marlo about it first.
Sige, sir. We can later update it later. We'll just proceed with the session for now.
Okay po. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So what will happen is, when our guest from Lupang Arenda in Taytay Rizal gets to join us, let just double check if they're here. I'm going to ask them to present. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for them, kasi office hours sa kanila, we'll just proceed with our session. So this is our code of conduct. If there are questions about COC breaches, you can report it to our group email. I don't think this will be a problem kasi nakasarado naman yung session natin to just ourselves for now. Ito sir, yung link. In case you're interested, this is the link to the YouTube video that we're using and where we are recording the session. So I'm pasting that in the chat box. I'm also going to give you a copy of the deck I'm using later.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so,
Okay, sir.
Okay. By default, everyone is muted. If you want to speak, just enable the mic when you have to do so, para ma-minimize lang natin yung extra noise. We can pass this. If you want to look at this pad that I'm using for the presentation deck, outline lang naman to. I'm pasting the link in our chat box so you can use it in your own computers. So lahat ba ng participants natin today have their own computers? Just checking. Are you using a computer?
Sir, not everyone, sir.
Okay. So for those who are just following, siguro you can do that after the session, mapanood yung video. Pero yung expectation ko today is that everyone will have a computer kasi hands-on tayo. And that at the very least, you try to use the walkthrough na binigay ko dun sa invitation link to Sir Eugene para meron na kayong konting background sa OpenStreetMap editing. Kahit yung yung principles of editing. Para naman hindi masyadong mahaba yung discussion natin kasi limited naman yung time natin for today. Apart from that, this is the outline of our session today. We've done the intro and the recap. We're just waiting and the sharing of the experiences. We're waiting for our guests from KartaView to join us. I think they might be presenting for about between 10 to 20 minutes. Hintayin ko lang sila. And then there are two topics for today. How to use the Mapillary website. Ano yung mga features na pwede nating magamit doon. And then second, how to edit OpenStreetMap based on information we get from Mapillary or based on personal information. Okay, so that's our outline. Okay, so as a background, why are we doing this WeMap webinar series? When the pandemic started last year, 1 year ago, we were looking for alternatives to present to volunteers as a alternative activity. Kasi lahat na lang concerned about how to keep themselves safe or find something else to do. So basically, the webinars were started as opportunities for learning a new digital skill, or to assist mapping initiatives in the Philippines, like the school mapping project we had, so that it can be reused for OpenStreetMap or mapping data. So contributing to the OpenStreetMap project is a tangible, positive online activity with the long-term benefits of making better open data available. So even the exercise that we're doing with Mandaue, the output we have, yung photos na ginawa ninyo, yung editing na gagawin natin later today or in future sessions, are going to be useful for other people who use OpenStreetMap and Open Data because that will be made available to them. Ang nakakatuwa is that your own mapping effort, yung Mandaue City Mapping Project, may mga common objectives tayo that appears to me na we can do together. So I think ang isang rason kung bakit kayo napaka-interesado with learning OSM is that you see the potential of making this useful for your city and your project. So as a background, why OpenStreetMap? I'm not sure if you have heard of OpenStreetMap before today or before you started your meeting with me. But basically, OpenStreetMap is a platform for collecting open geographic data na pwedeng magamit ng ibang tao without any technical or legal restrictions. Of course, the most popular platform is Google Maps. Most people know that. Ang usage ng tool na yon, OpenStreetMap and Google Maps are similar, but the licensing restrictions are different. For example, you are not allowed to just copy the map or distribute the data in Google. But in OpenStreetMap, that's possible. So for example, the map that you see on my screen right now, showing, where is this? Somewhere in Manila, is a map. Pwede yung i-copy-paste yan sa presentation ninyo or sa tarpaulin ninyo, and that's okay as long as you attribute OSM. But apart from the map itself, the data that was used to create those maps are also made available. Kay Google Maps, pag nakita mo yung mapa, ang pwede mo lang magamit ay yung, kung ginagamit nyo man yun, ay yung image ng mapa. Pero kung gumagamit kayo ng geographic information systems, gumagamit kayo ng ibang data processing tools or software, you don't have access to that. That information from Google is proprietary. So this is the main advantage of OpenStreetMap. Not only can you use the map that is produced from the data that you contribute, you can also download the data that is used to do that. So yung mga nakikita niyo yung blue lines on this screen are the map data that was used to create this particular map. So what else is found in OpenStreetMap? This photo of the screen is a word cloud. Ang ibig sabihin ng word cloud is it shows you what kind of elements in OpenStreetMap are searchable, or what are the things you can expect from OpenStreetMap. So makikita niyo dyan na malaki agad buildings. So may mga building data ron. Marami rin highway data. Pero meron din mga ibang maliliit na klaseng data na maaaring hindi available sa ibang klaseng mapa. Pag halimbawang tinanong ko sa inyo, pwede ko bang mahingi or pwede mo bang sabihin sa akin kung nasaan ang pinakamalapit na fire hydrant in your area? I'm pretty sure that it will be possible for you to determine that using Google Maps. Siguro hanapin mo pa sa Google Street View kung meron man yon. Pero in OpenStreetMap, people are mapping fire hydrants, they are mapping benches, they are mapping a lot of real-world objects that is added into OSM. So that is why we're using OSM, and that is why we're promoting OpenStreetMap, because there's a lot of advantage for doing that, and that is what we're going to learn today. Any questions so far?
So far, sir, okay lang. So good.
Okay lang. Sige. So habang wala pa yata I'm just reviewing kung sino yung nandito kasama natin. Habang wala pa sila, we'll start with, okay, tapos na yan. We'll start with going to or using the Mapillary app or the website. So please, open your browsers and go to mapillary.com/app. Yung nakikita ninyong URL dito sa screen ko ngayon. Let's do that. Okay. So if it's your first time to go to the app, it will show you a screen like this. So hindi ako naka-log in, and it will show you the map of the whole world, and you will see a lot of green stuff on the map. Those are actually photos or sequences of photos taken by contributors from all over the world to document or just capture how their localities look like. So if you pan the map, so click and hold the left mouse button of your map, you should be able to browse any area in the world. But for today, we're not interested anywhere else. Dito lang tayo sa Pilipinas, in particular in Mandaue. Either you can zoom to the area using your mouse, or you can click on the search button and just search for Mandaue. Mandaue City. So here we are. This is the region of Mandaue, showing new imagery because because of CPDO adding new imagery, makikita na natin yung photos from Mapillary. And then, of course, there were older data available in Cebu. Actually, kagabi ko lang naalala na about 2 years ago, I stayed for a while near USC, University of San Carlos, and I actually took some Mapillary imagery, pero it was just within the university, so limited lang yung use niya. Ito yung area na yon. Pero it's funny that 2 years ago I was actually in Mandaue pala and captured some street level imagery. So anyway, what we're going to do here is select any of the areas where you're interested in. So let's zoom in along E.O. Perez Street. Okay. So please follow along on your computer if possible. If I'm talking too fast, just let me know so I could slow down, and you can follow the exercise along with me. So as you can see, as you zoom in, the individual photos will now be visible. Kanina, it only looked like a line, but now we have individual photos here. And if you click on any of those dots, it will show you what it looks like from the position, at least based on the sat-nav chip or GPS chip, of the photos you took. No? So if I click on this inset map to maximize this, click this button. Magsiswitch tayo ng visible na object. From yung map, pwede natin itago, minimize, and you can see the photos that you took. So according to this photo, it was JP Francisco who took this photo and uploaded it March 23rd. Okay? So question, ano ang mga palagay ninyong elemento dito sa litratong ito na pwedeng imapa? Maski hindi natin pag-usapan yung micro. Just try to identify elements in this photo that you think are something that we can map.
Gasoline station, sir.
Okay, there's the gasoline station. Nakikita ba natin yung pangalan?
Hindi. Hindi.
Oo, hindi natin nakita. Sige. So because of this, it's a gasoline station kasi nakikita natin itong air pump dito na usually available. Ano pa pwede nating imapa? Apart from gasoline station.
Vulcanizing shop.
Vulcanizing shop. Okay. So pwede rin yan. Pero ang problema dito sa litratong to,
Hindi nakikita.
At least sa angle na to, hindi ko pa nakikita. Baka sa later photos makita natin. Okay. So far we found 2. What else? Ano pa yung nakikita yung object sa screen?
Street light po, sir.
Ano yun?
Street light. Ito.
Street?
Yung street lights po,
Yeah. Oh,
nasa
street light.
Island.
Yes. Dito sa photo na ito, kapag clinic ko itong map data and i-click ko yung object detection, no? So ulitin ko, click this icon, map data, the fourth icon on the top of your screen, and then click on object detection. Okay. Lahat ng mga colors na nakikita ninyo sa screen ngayon are objects that can be identified by computer vision. What is computer vision? Computer vision is actually software or algorithm that is trained to learn, no? Quote unquote, learn how to identify things. So parang kapag natuto na isang computer na mag-identify ng lahat ng street lights or lahat ng poste, sa lahat ng photos na makita na yun, pwede niyang ma-detect. Katulad nito. Sabi niya, itong dark line na ito is a utility pole. Itong mga greeneries natin are general vegetation. Hindi pa niya ma-detect kung yan ay puno. Dito ay na-detect na naman niya isang poste. Naka-detect siya ng sidewalk. Dito, ang sabi niya, it's a billboard. Well, it's a signage. So, yun na-detect niya. Let's see what else. Terrain, sky, etc. Akala niya traffic light itong mga transformers sa poste. So, itong isang advantage of using Mapillary. Pwede natin gamitin ang machine learning detection to detect images in the photos that we can map. Pero tayo, kung gagamitin lang natin yung ating mata at experience, pwede rin tayong maka-identify kung ano yung pwedeng imapa katulad ng mga binanggit ninyo. So apart from that, ano pa ang pwedeng imapa? Nakikita rito sa photo that the surface of the road is made of concrete. So that attribute can be added into OpenStreetMap if you want to do that. We can also see, based on the photo, that there are 3 lanes along EO Perez, at least for this portion of the road. So pwede natin i-add yan. Merong air compressor na available for public use. Kung hindi ako taga dito, I can assume that this is a gas station, pero hindi ko malalaman kung anong brand ng gas station na to. Pero definitely I can map the air compressor na nandyan, or yung water. So yan yung mga examples ng data na pwede natin kuha from OpenStreetMap at maidagdag sa, from Mapillary at maidagdag natin sa OpenStreetMap. So, how do we look for other photos in the area? So if we want to look at the rest of the photos taken by JP Francisco, meron tayo rito mga additional keys on the top of your screen. If you click on this triangle, which is a play button, which I'm going to do now, it will automatically display all the photos you took. So, kailan to useful? Photos are useful when playing photos, pag may mga hinahanap ka. Kunyari, gusto mo lang magmapa ng lahat ng gas station. So, pwede mong i-play yung sequence of photos that you or somebody else took. And habang tinitignan mo yung litrato, so para kang virtually bumabiyahe along the same road, pwede kang maghintay lang kung kailan lalabas yung mga gas stations na yun. Ma-detect mo manually at idadagdag sa mapa kung wala pa. Pwede mo rin gamitin yung data na yun to improve the data. Kunyari, somebody has added the gasoline station pero hindi nila nilagay ang pangalan niya. Kunyari, iba yung brand ng gas station before. Tapos, 2 months ago, nagpalit ng pangalan, naging XYZ na siya, from ABC fuel station, naging XYZ fuel station. We can add that information on the map. So, using these photos, I'll just stop it now. It's possible to improve the data in OSM, and we have evidence that can be used, or sources that we can be used by people who are not in Mandaue, doesn't live, for example, or are not familiar with what features are available along EO Perez. So ako, kahit hindi ako taga Mandaue, ngayon makikita ko na along this portion of the map, nasasabihin natin kung anong state na tayo ngayon. Kung makita yung pangalan ng kalye. May isang tindahan, actually mukha siyang entrance to a subdivision or a facility. So, pwede ka maglagay, for example, ng dyan, lift gate dito sa street na yan. So, we're going to do those things based on information that we can read or derive from the photos you took. You can also use the left arrow and the right arrow on your screen to move forward and backward between photos. Ayun. So, this is a part of Chonghua Hospital pala. Ito nasa right. So, sa Chonghua Hospital, ang service entrance nila are along this service road, and there's a gate or barrier before you can go in. So, those are the things that you can map. Tapos, I also would like to ask si JP Francisco. JP, andito ba si JP ngayon? Ano bang pangalan ni first name ni JP Francisco?
John Paul, sir. John Paul.
John Paul. Okay. Sir John Paul. Question. When you took this photo a few days ago, how did you get to the intersection of M. Logarta Avenue? Yung before you start taking the photos. Saan ka dumaan?
Sir, that is just a reverse of our Mapillary mapping of the EO Perez and yung sa Mandaue. So, dyan kami sa youth. Pwede ba ako maka-point, sir?
Yes, sir. Sige, sir. Gusto niyo mag-share ng screen? You can share your screen.
Share screen. Siguro sir.
Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen first so you can share your screen.
Open the Google concern, no? Google Earth.
Pero ka na naman, sir.
So, OpenStreetMap ka lang. Huwag na natin gamitin si Google Earth.
Narinig ko na ito.
Huwag na natin siya i-promote.
Share. Ini.
So, ano sa sir? Ibalik ni mo? Dali?
Oo.
Deleted siguro. Kaya. Ibalik ni mo sa asa sir?
Mo zoom out sa map yun.
Ang map yun?
Oo.
Hindi sir. Kini. Nga ipagamay lang ni. Kini. Na.
So, if nakikita mo yung cursor, sir, galing kami dito sa Perez. Nag-U-turn lang kami. Nag-U-turn kami dito starting this in this gasoline station. And then going to this route.
Okay.
Going back.
So,
Because
what happened to that segment, sir, na nawala yung photo sa kabilang street ng EO Perez? Yan ba yung pending pa?
Pending pa yung pag-upload sa Mapillary, sir, dahil kang Sir Eugene din yung cellphone na ginagamit. Itong blue sa akin ito.
Okay.
Mga assignment of roads kasi, sir, na ano yung mga i-map out namin or street view namin.
Yan, okay. Sige. Now I understand it better. So, ang ginawa nyo pala, parang isang sasakyan kayo, pero may mga segments na may, kung sino naka-assign, siya yung kukuha nung gagamit ng phone niya.
Yes, sir, Win.
Ano po yun kasi sir, di ba earlier kanina sinabi ko po na pag dalawang ang both sides po yung takbo ng daan. So both sides din po yung existence ng road bike lanes. Kaya po dinivide namin like yung sa kabila akin yung yung sa kabila naman kay Sir JP.
Okay.
Kaya
Sige.
dinivide po namin.
I see. Okay, I understand it better now. Pero, mag-iwan lang ako ng comment. Kung kunyari hindi to exercise, had this been just like, if you want to optimize your time, kung isang tao yung kumuha niyan, I'm pretty sure na baka na-capture na ng maayos or na-upload na yung photos. Tapos, ang isa pang technique na ginagawa, kunyari, galing kayong City Hall and you're going to EO Perez, yun yung target na area ninyo to cover. Even if your target is along EO Perez, it's okay to enable or start recording Mapillary or whatever app you're using. Para yung kung ano man yung madaanan ninyo, kahit na nadaanan nyo na before at nakapag-record kayo, it's all right to just record it anyway. Because, kunyari, previously, napadaan ka dun sa street na yon, pero may naka-block kasi may mga naka-park na sasakyan. Pero the next time that you happen to pass by the same street, wala yung mga naka-park, so you would have a better capturing opportunity na makikita mo kung ano yung mga establishments doon. Diba? Hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin kasi na i-clear natin lahat ng sasakyan dito sa EO Perez ngayong hapon kasi magka-capture tayo. That's not always possible. But if you're planning to capture imagery anyway, you can take the opportunity to start recording as soon as you leave the office or sa City Hall para ma-collect nyo. Okay. So thank you for sharing, Sir John Paul. Now I understand kung bakit may ganung time gap. So we'll just wait for Mapillary kung kailan nila yon maipakita. Hopefully soon. But for now, we'll be using whatever data we have for this exercise today. Okay, so I'll start sharing my screen again. Sorry, before we do that, I noticed we have Cass Belano here. She's one of the LGU staff of Barangay Santa Ana in Taytay. Let's see if they can start sharing para naman hindi sila nag-ising tayo. Cass? Hi, Cass. Cass, are you ready to present?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Kamusta kayo?
Okay lang naman, sir. Since bago yung kapitan namin, hindi na yun yung ginagawa namin sa ngayon. Pero since hindi naipasa ng maayos yung turnover ng bisaw dun sa bagong head, bumabalik sila sa amin. Gusto nilang makita yung ginawa natin before, especially for the Seno. And yung mapping, yung isa sa tinuturo ko sa kanila, i-pursue nila and ituloy nila. Kasi malaking tulong yun, especially for them. Lalo na sa lokal.
Okay. That question, are you, medyo maingay. Meron ba kayong presentation deck for your presentation today? Ano ba?
Actually, sir, wala akong presentation, pero kung brief explanation lang, pwede. Tapos kung kaya yung mag-share screen nung kalakihan ng arenda on your part, sorry.
Sige, pwede naman. Sige, gawin natin yon. Gusto mo rin bang i-enable yung camera mo para makita ka ng mga taga Mandaue?
Sige, sir. Mabilis lang.
Sige.
Maganda tayo sa barangay ba? Was it working?
Kat, are you with Marian today?
Si Marian po kasi nandun sa office niya. So, nandun siya meron na kaming sarili-sarili. Okay na ba? Kita na ba, sir?
Wala pa, sandali. Hindi ko pa nakikita yung camera mo.
Yung si camera.
Parang
ayaw.
Ayaw. Baka hindi namin kayang bayaran yung talent fee mo. Automatic na detect kapag
ayaw.
Sige.
Okay.
Habang wala, first I'd like to introduce Cass. Cass is one of the barangay staff officers in Barangay Santa Ana in Taytay Rizal. We met them in, I think, 2019 because of their mapping project. So si Kat ang magkukwento kung ano yon at ipapakita ko kung ano. Okay. At medyo malakas yung mic mo dyan.
Ay, malakas yung mic. Sorry.
Naririnig ko yung ibang tao.
Oh, malakas talaga yung boses namin, sir. Yan. Okay na, sir.
Ayan. Gumagamit ka ba ng headset para mas malinaw yung setup?
Opo, kasi medyo open yung area.
Sige, anyway. I think masyadong maingay. Mahihirapan yata maintindihan kung ano yung sinasabi.
Ay, sorry, sir. Okay, mukhang wala na nag-usap. Okay, kasi may nag-usap sila kanina sa labas.
Okay, sige. So, I hope nakikita niyo yung screen ko. I'm searching for Taytay.
Ma'am, wait lang 10 minutes lang. Tapos,
so yan, ito ang mapa ng lupang arenda. At hayaan natin magkwento muna si Kat kung ano yung project nila, para saan to, at kung ano man yung detalye gusto niyang i-share to everyone. Kat, the floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning po. Good afternoon, sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Catherine Milano. Dati po ako nag-work sa isang NGO na tumututok sa DRR. And upon checking, at ang hawak namin basically is lupang arenda. And lupang arenda po is an ISF or informal settlers families na halos lahat sila ay squatters. So ang kabuuan pong lawak ng arenda ay 800 hectares. Ang project base po namin is lupang arenda na before is hindi siya ganun ka-visible kay Google. Na parang sa isang community na ISF na hinihiling nilang ibigay sa kanila yung karapatan na mapa sa kanila yung lupa. Isa po yung pagmamapa ng lugar ang naisip namin, naisip ng barangay ko yun. Pero since ang hirap, paano mo imamapa ang isang lugar na napakalaki? Nagkaroon po ng activity na youth mapathon. Doon po ako na-open sa OpenStreetMap. Nakita ko yung OpenStreetMap bilang magiging platform ng pagmamapa kasi doon siya madaling i-access, i-edit, maglagay ka ng details. Unfortunately, nabura yung lahat ng details namin kasi bawal po siya. Bawal maglagay ng name. Kasi yun yung una naming tagging na ginawa. Iminamarka namin yung houses sa OpenStreetMap with details ng pangalan, ilan silang nakatira, ilang story yung bahay, anong klase yung bahay, if it's light materials, concrete ba, yung mga ganun details po yun. And since bawal siya kay OpenStreetMap, binura ni OpenStreetMap lahat ng datos na inilagay namin dito. Doon po pumasok sa amin sila Sir Erwin, sila Sir Maning, and nag-offer po sila sa amin ng help. Ano po ang kagandahan ng OpenStreetMap and ng Mapillary na napadali yung trabaho namin? With the access po ng Mapillary, imbis na kailangan mo puntahan yung bahay, you directly see it kung ano itsura ng mga bahay or ng lugar. With Mapillary, kahit hindi mo puntahan diretso yung bahay, makikita mo na sa Mapillary. Yun ang malaking tulong sa amin ng Mapillary and OSM. Kasi ginagamit po namin yung selo. Ano po yung selo ng Barangay Santa Ana? Certificate of Lot Occupancy po siya na pinangahawakan ng mga squatters sa lupang arenda para madaling iproseso if ever yung awarding ng gobyerno yung lupa para sa kanila. Imagine, 12,000 families po ang nakatira sa lupang arenda. Ang laking tulong po sa amin ng Mapillary. Kaya lang, unfortunately, since kulang yung manpower ko by that time, hindi namin na-cover lahat ng lupang arenda. And with the pandemic din. Saka bukod po doon, meron din kasi ibang project yung department ko, which is census nga po. So, hopefully, after the pandemic, matatapos namin i-map using Mapillary yung buong lupang arenda lang po siya. Wala pa po yung kabuang barangay Santa Ana ng Taytay Rizal. Yan po yung mga kuha namin na pamotor lang po siya kasi since malaki po talaga yung land area ng lupang arenda structure. And with the help of with Sir Erwin and Sir Manny and the group po, nakapagpalipad po kami ng drone sa lupang arenda, which is mas naging maganda yung resolution ni lupang arenda, especially pag chinecheck na sa OSM and sa Google Map.
Are you still talking?
No sir. Okay na sir. Chinecheck ko kasi yung video, parang naglalag ako, pero it seems okay naman na. Tapos na. Baka nasabi ko naman na lahat, sir. Kung may questions lang, if ever.
Okay. So, before I ask for questions, I'll just provide some context dun sa sinabi ni Cass. Cass, pwede mag-mute ka muna?
Sige sir. Yes po.
Okay.
Maingay kasi.
Oo. Ayun, thank you. Binanggit ni Cass na sabi niya, dinelete ni OpenStreetMap yung kanilang minapa. Ang nangyari nun ay meron silang mga dinadagdag sa mapa na mga personal information, pangalan, at iba pang detalye na hindi talaga pinapayagan sa OpenStreetMap. Kung halimbawa, ang nilagay nyo lang doon ay house number, public yun, or kung ano yung height ng buildings, or kung ano ang materialis na ginamit nyo para sa paggawa ng building na yun, that's okay. That would not have been a problem. But in their case, yung initial efforts nila na tinulungan pa sila ng mga estudyante or interns nila from another university, unfortunately, hindi sila nabigyan ng tamang advice. So nasayang yung initial efforts nila ng pagmamapa. Pero the good thing that came out of that is that was how the OpenStreetMap community in the Philippines discovered their effort. So ang nangyari after matanggal yung personal information na yon, kasi dapat yun naman talaga ay nakatago, hindi dapat sinishare sa public. Tinulungan ng OpenStreetMap community ang barangay, sila Catherine at si Marian, sila yung nag-lead ng effort para mag-capture o ayusin ang pagmamapa dun sa area nila. So yung nakikita yung mga litrato, unahin natin itong outline ng lupang arenda dito sa kanan. Lahat ng areas na ito ay sakop ng lupang arenda. Lupang arenda is, if correct me Cathy if I'm wrong, is a sitio within Barangay Santa Ana. It's divided into several more areas. The objective of their project is for the barangay to record the tenureship of the property they're own or at least occupy, to assist the local residents in securing the necessary paperwork from the government. And that is where the barangay came in. So ngayon, ang naalala kong isang kwento nila, Kat, at binanggit niya rin earlier, was that kung minsan may pupunta raw sa barangay nila para mag-request ng isang dokumento, ginagamit na nila ngayon yung mapa, pati itong Mapillary, para i-verify or i-validate kung tama yung information na pinoprovide or to cross-reference ang information na binibigay ng mga taga-barangay. So, ganun po ang isang halimbawa ng paggamit ng Mapillary at ng OpenStreetMap at the barangay level. So, for for Mandaue, I know that you're at the city level. I think this shows the CPDO that at the barangay level, it's possible to conduct these data collection efforts, and that you can innovate within your system or maximize the use of these tools to enhance the services that you provide your citizens. So that's it. Would you have any questions for Kat?
So far, sir, wala po, sir.
Okay. So Kat, so far walang questions. Maraming salamat.
Salamat po.
Kat, are you still there?
Yes, sir. Opo, yes. Thank you,
So
team
maraming
po.
salamat for sharing. I think ang maganda nito is one of these days, someone from the community can assist you in creating a presentation. Pwede nating i-record at i-play kapag may mga ganito tayong activities.
Yes, sir. Sige.
Oo. Sige. So maraming salamat, Kat. Sayang at wala si Marian. Kung may question ang mga taga Mandaue tungkol sa experience ninyo sa barangay, i-direct namin sa inyo. Is that okay?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Sige, ibibigay ko na lang yung contact information mo sa kanila.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Kat.
Bye.
So that's, thank you, Kat. That's Catherine Delano of the Barangay Santa Ana government of the Taytay LGU. And she showed us how they use Mapillary and OpenStreetMap for their local projects. Sana ma-inspire uli ang Mandaue CPDO with how they did it. Right. So let's go back to our discussions. I'm going to search for Mandaue again para makabalik tayong Mandaue. When you have the time to explore Mapillary, you can explore other areas in the Philippines. You can also explore other areas in the rest of the world if you're interested in that. Pero sa Pilipinas, marami pang pwedeng gawin, so dito muna tayo. So balik tayo dun sa exercise sa photo na kinuna ni Sir JP kanina, Sir John Paul. Okay, so I'm going to switch it to enlarge the photo. On the lower left corner of your screen, you will find a smaller map to tell you where your location is. If you are logged in Mapillary, you won't have this button. So let me use the one where I'm logged in. Para pwede tayo mag-start with editing later. Ano pa yung features available dito kay Mapillary? Let's say you're looking for AI-detected traffic signs. Kung kunyari nagkukonda ka ng inventaryo na lahat ng traffic signs traffic signal sa Mandaue, and you want to see kung ano yung mga photos na nakuna nyo through Mapillary using that. So if you go to click on map data and click on, say, enable the map features traffic signs and points, and if we close this photo, you will now see additional icons available on your screen. Okay. Ano ibig sabihin nitong mga icons na to? These icons represent traffic signs that were detected by the software, yung natutunan niyang i-detect. Minsan may mga error yan or may false positives dyan. But most of the time, they're helpful. So let's see, anong nakita niya? Unang-una, traffic signal daw, meron dito sa point na to. So if we click on this dot or photo, it will be reasonable for you to expect a photo that shows a traffic signal. Wala siya dyan. We move back. See? According to the photo, ito yung traffic signal. So here we have traffic signals. Ang disconnect is, although na-detect ni Mapillary itong mga objects na to, hindi yan lalabas sa mapa unless we map it manually. For now, ang machine learning and artificial intelligence na output are not being fed directly into OpenStreetMap. Pwede lang sabihin na may ganitong detection at this place, but we are still asking volunteers to, human volunteers, to validate that. So hindi pa kasi perfect yung system for detecting these objects. And hindi pa acceptable para sa OpenStreetMap community na gamitin ito automatically. So mano-mano itong dinadagdag sa OSM. So yan, meron tayong traffic signals na detect rin kung nasan ang crosswalks. Kung kayo ay interesadong imapa, for example, ang lahat ng PWD-friendly intersections ng city. So, or kung nagpe-prepare kayo ng plano for making sure that the city is PWD-friendly, pwede nyo magamit ngayon ang Mapillary imagery to help you detect those features, and you can use that to add it to the map. Okay? So marami pang ibang klaseng detections na pwedeng makita. For example, it's possible to look for parking racks, bicycle racks. Wait, nasan siya? So, bike racks. So, hindi ko alam kung merong kayong nadaan ng photos where the bicycle racks are in the city. Alam kong meron kayong ilan or do-it-yourself repair stations. Pero kung meron, kilala siya ni Mapillary, it's possible to add that into OSM. So I'm not going to go into the details of the other features. Medyo overview lang talaga itong objective natin today, but it's possible to do that. No? So I'm turning all these off. I'm going back to E.O. Perez. To start adding data from OpenStreetMap. So, medyo mabagal yung aking internet connection. There you go. Okay. So from this photo, like what you guys said earlier, there are objects that we can add into OpenStreetMap. So using the photo, pwede tayo magtawag ng mga volunteers na kunyari, ang goal natin ay imapa lahat ng streetlights o imapa ang lahat ng bike lanes. Ang gagawin nila ay magre-reduce sila ng Mapillary photos, and that's what you're going to do. So the process is like this. Ngayon, naka-log in ako as this is my username in Mapillary. And kunyari, dito sa photo na ito, nakita ko, ito, may air compressor para to pump air into your tire. So I can click on this button, yung ellipsis button, and click on editing, and then choose edit via ID. Okay? So, I just want to let you know na although I use ID, I'm not an expert dahil hindi siya yung favorite editor ko, yung Josom. Pero ID is very user-friendly. That's why we're using that. So I'll just click on that. Once you click that button, you will be sent to the OpenStreetMap website. So babalik tayo ngayon sa website ni OpenStreetMap. If you're not logged in the upper right corner here, you will be asked to log in. So make sure that you are logged in. para lumabas itong ID editor. Could you please tell me if everyone, those people using computers, are you seeing the same screen as I am now? Sinusundan niyo ba ako?
Sir, medyo pwede balik ng konti, sir. Hindi namin nakuha eh.
Sige. Ulit, sige,
Sige po.
sige. So, ganito. Lahat tayo, punta tayo dito sa EO Perez, sa Mapillary. Pwede bang, can everyone go to that, para lang makita, masundan ninyo on your screen.
Okay po.
Okay. We're looking at that gas station in the corner of Logarta Avenue and EO Perez.
Hindi mo kita. Sir, paano namin palabasin yung gas station? Yung mga icons, saka may Jollibee dito, paano po ba?
Saan yan? Could you show me your screen?
Mapillary po.
Sa Mapillary? Iba ba yung itsura ng mapa nyo?
Iba po.
Okay. Palagay ko kayo ay naka-Mapillary. Okay, saan yung prines ko? The layer button here, map style. If you click on that, choose OpenStreetMap.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my fault. By default, it's Mapillary Street. So, ganito yung itsura niya.
Okay. Ayun.
Yan.
Okay na, sir.
Okay na, OpenStreetMap. So, click on the photo para makita natin yung unang photo natin. Now, click on this ellipsis button. This button to the right of the screen. And then, click on Editing. And then, select Edit via ID. So, when you click on that, this is how your screen will look like if you're logged in into OpenStreetMap. May I know if everyone got the chance to do the walkthrough before today, yesterday, or this morning?
Yes, sir. We did the walkthrough, but it's still very hard to comprehend.
Yeah. Okay lang. As long as you did the walkthrough, at least may basic understanding na kayo ng ano yung parts of the screen.
Yes po.
But I will go through that later. Okay, so please make sure that your screen looks like what I have. So, pareho ba tayo ng screen, everyone?
Yes, sir. Ano po?
Okay. So, una dito sa screen natin, dito sa near the center of our screen is the photo that we used for Mapillary, correct? So, pwede kayong mag-pan, pwede kayong mag-zoom in dyan. Basically, kung ano yung sinelect yung photo dun sa Mapillary website, yan yung lalabas. Tapos, on our map is itong mga green dots na may cone represent the photos you took and the angle the photo was taken. So, minsan, kapag yung camera nyo ay medyo hindi sensitive, the angle might be off. Pero most of the time, it works pretty well. I also think that some of the photos you guys took are already available. Ito na yung kay Sir Eugene, no? Sa kabilang street. Pero hindi pa lumalabas. Nakikita nyo?
Karoon pa siya, pero dili makita.
Oo, hindi pa nakikita sa Mapillary, pero dito nakikita na. So anyway, ano yung gusto natin gawin? Okay.
Ha? Siguro tungkol sa ako di account ang dili sa pikas pa nang ako dili pa makita niya. Ay, sadali po, sir. Sadali po,
yes,
sir.
Go ahead. What's the question?
Hindi kasi nila po makita yung ano.
Photo?
Yung mga ano, yung sa akin po na ano, data. Lala? Oh, may delay lang po pala. Sorry.
Yeah. Oo. So, yan. Kung naalala nyo yung presentation ni Sir Nicky last week, may delay talaga minsan yung paglabas ng mga green dots. that represents the photos. So I hope everyone has the photos already.
Yes, sir. We can see
Okay.
it.
Sige. So dito, sa screen natin, nandito na tayo sa tinatawag na editor ng OpenStreetMap. Ang tawag namin dito ay ID editor. Kasi marami pang klaseng editor ng OSM. Based doon sa photo na sinelect natin earlier, which is this one, no? Tapos dito sa mapa, ay makikita natin ang satellite imagery, the view from the top of that area. Most of the time, the imagery is old, maybe 2 or 3 years old. So, yung nakikita minsan natin sa litrato, lalo na to, bagong kuha, may not always match the photos taken from the satellite imagery. Kunyari, may bagong construct na building, sa mapa nyo sa satellite, ano pa siya, damuhan. Pero dito sa aerial image, sa Mapillary, makikita nyo na yung building. So, pwede pa rin kayong magmapa using that. Pero sa satellite, ibang angle yung nakikita natin. Okay. Let's backtrack to how you can add elements into OpenStreetMap. On my screen, near the upper portion of my screen, there are 3 buttons. No, yung point and line and area. These are geometries in OpenStreetMap. Ibig sabihin yan, ito yung paraan for OpenStreetMap to interpret the data that you want to add into the map. So, paano yung ginagamit? So, points, yung unang-una, points usually represent objects that can stand on their own. So, for example, dito sa photo natin, itong element ng compressor ay pwede nating i-represent as a point. Ang tanong, bakit hindi siya pwedeng gamitin, for example, line or area? Line or area is inappropriate kasi ang line, ginagamit natin yan sa mga linear na feature. Ano ang linear features? Roads, katulad ng yellow lines na nakikita niyo sa screen niyo. Waterways, ilog, streams, irrigation canals, or power lines. So, hindi siya appropriate. How about area? Pwede ba natin i-map yung buong ng isang area as a polygon? Pwede if you can accurately define the boundaries of an area. So, for example, dito sa screen natin, so, makikita ninyo na this gas station na walang pangalan is represented by a point. Someone added this as a point. Anyone can add that data. Tapos, dito rin sa kabila is another point. Okay? Kung ako to, ang magmamapa, I would prefer to map the area, the service station as an area. So, ang gagawin ko una, on my screen, I click on area. And then, I will click on what I perceive to be the outline of that gas station. Okay. Yeah. So, after drawing an area or clicking a point, you can click on the feature type to say, anong klaseng gas station to? Kung halimbawa hindi ko alam anong pangalan ng gas station, pwede nating hanapin yung generic na gas station. Okay? Pwede bang malaman kung ano yung pangalan ng gas station na to? Yung mga nagpunta ron sa EO Perez?
Petron daw, sir. Petron.
Petron. Okay. So, kung alam niyo kung ano yung gas station, so instead na ang sinelect natin dito ay generic na gas station, you can search Petron. Yun. Petron gas station. And you click on that. Ang ibig sabihin nito, merong mga presets na available sa OpenStreetMap for certain brands. especially the more known ones, yung mga national brands. Kasi madalas nang gamitin at idagdag ng tao para hindi na sila paulit-ulit mag-type, meron ng preset. Pero kung kunyari, maliit na brand, kunyari ang pangalan ng gas station ay, we know it's a gas station, ang pangalan niya kunyari ay ABC gas station. Pwede nating manually fill up yung details based on the information that we have. Okay? So, I can also use the area tool. So, minimum information lang nilagay ko. I drew the outline of the area, or it's also acceptable to use the point and add this as, say, Petron gas station. Both approaches are correct, but drawing it as an area is better kasi you can represent the whole service station as a polygon para malaman mo yung extent. Pero kung kunyari, dinagdag na siya as a point by someone else, pwede mo siyang i-expand or i-improve yung data to make the data better. Okay? So, take your time to try to draw the outline of 2 service stations in your neighborhood. Then I will ask you to show your screen. No? Tapos, gagamitin ko rin yung area tool to create the outline of this building. Yung area kung saan ka nag-fill up. Okay? So to draw a building, you click on area tool. Click on a corner. So 1. Click on the second corner. 2. Tapos dito banda yung third. Kunyari. And then on the final corner, double click. And then after drawing it, make sure that you tag it. Ang tawag sa pag-tag is building. Yan. Tagging means you are telling the computer or the software that what you just added or drew is that particular feature. It's a building, it's a gas station, or it's a bike rack, or a parking area. So ano yung nagawa natin? Nakagawa na tayo ng ABC gas station at nakapagdagdag tayo ng 2 building. Tapos kung gusto natin idagdag yung compressed air, Sir JP, looking at my screen, where exactly is the compressor? Ito. Is it somewhere here? Because ito yung building kasi, no? Tama ba na dito banda yung
yes, sir.
Air and water? Yes. Okay.
Sir mo, sir. Yan, sir, yes.
Yan. So, kunyari, ito yung point na yan. This particular area. Paano natin nalaman? Kasi dito, nakikita natin itong isang building. No? That building here is this building. So, based on that information, we can assume that this point is where the compressor is. Okay na lang, hindi super accurate. Yung mga taong gumagamit ng mapa ay kumukuha ng direksyon. Pag nandun na sa area, makikita na nila yan. So, paano natin sasabihin sa OpenStreetMap na this is a compressor? Click the feature type again and search for compressed air. So, nalagay na natin siya as compressed air. Kung merong gripo dyan, kasi air and water yung nakalagay, di ba?
Wala
man
man
tayo
sa comment.
Ano yun, sir?
Butang man ka diha og ko. Dili na siya masay. Dili siya masay. Oh.
So next is I added another point to represent the tap, yung gripo. Ang pangalan niyan ay water tap. Ayan. Hindi faucet yung ginagamit ng British kasi. So those are 2 things that we added based on the photos we took and based on aerial imagery, nakapagdagdag tayo ng building at ng 2 building at ng gas station. I'm not going to save this, but I want to look what your screens look like right now. So pwede ba tayong mag-share ng screen para comment ako kung ano yung ginagawa ninyo. Sige, if you're ready, please show me your screen. I want to see kung paano kayo nakapagdagdag halimbawa ng building or ng gas station or ng compressor and how you added that into the map. Ayan, okay. Kanina screen to.
Napindot ko kasi yung save button, sir.
Okay, sige. Ibig sabihin yan, hindi pa. Sige. Nag-save kayo. May question? No, it's okay. Pwede na, ang maganda dyan ay pwede naman natin i-correct kung mali. Wala naman ako nakikitang mali. Dito sa change set comment, ang ibig sabihin yan, describe ninyo kung ano yung dinagdag nyo sa OpenStreetMap. So kung halimbawa ang dinagdag ninyo ay gas station, pwede yung sabihin na Petron gas station added. Okay, just a comment. Ano yan? It's a way of telling fellow mappers natin kung ano yung ginawa ninyo sa data. But before you start saving, can you click on cancel first? Para makita ko lang kung ano pa yung ginawa ninyo sa map.
Sir, come again, sir?
Could you show your screens again so I could comment on what you did on your map? Yan. So, kanino yung screen to? Kay Ace. Yan. May sarili ng gas station si Ace yata. Okay. Sige. So, exercise para nakikita ko kung ano yung ginagawa niya. Ace, click on the cancel button so that you can edit the map. Cancel button is on the left part of your screen. Yan. Okay. So ngayon, you're back in edit mode. I want you to try using the area button to draw the building. Yung dalawang building na nakita natin. Okay. So, you were able to draw the two buildings. Ano dapat na susunod gagawin? After drawing, you select label, tag, ang tawag. So, tag it. So, nakalagay na dyan yung building, pwede mo na i-click yung building. Click yung building. Yeah. Tapos wait, don't move your screen yet. So dito makikita ninyo may mga extra fields, no? Ay, pakibalik sa dali. Yan. Click mo yung building. Yeah, click on it, yan. Yan muna sa dali. So dito, it's possible that building has other attributes. It could have a name, it could have the number of floors, etc. So kung hindi natin alam yon, it's okay to leave it blank. No? Kunyari, building lang, sabihin lang natin it's a building. And then we can move on to the next. Pero when you encounter yung nakikita niyong issues, ano yung sabi dyan? Building is building crosses a gas station. Ang ibig sabihin yan, yung drawing nyo na building, nag-intersect doon sa drawing yung outline ng gas station. So, ideally, di ba, kunyari, kung ikaw ang may-ari ng building, yung property mo ay within your, property line magpapatayo. So, yung building mo dyan, make sure na hindi siya nakadikit doon sa building. So, minsan may polygon, yung isang corner na dikit dun sa gas station, you can disconnect it. Or you can move the...
Question,
Sir,
sir.
may question.
Yung ginawa ko, nag-outline ako ng balik perimeter ng area ng gas station. Tapos
Yes.
natag ko ang building. Kaya ito yung output niya. Tapos pag yung pinadrawing mo, pinatag mo sa akin yung mga buildings. Kaya meron ng building causes Ace gas station. Yan yung nangyari. How to delete, sir? How to delete the polygon?
Okay. How to delete? If you only want to delete the attribute, kunyari pangalan or gas station, nakikita mo yung delete button sa may attribute. Kunyari dito sa left part of your screen. Kunyari you want to remove Ace gas station. If you press the delete button, mawawala yan. Pero ito ngayon, okay, undo. Control Z. Sandali. Okay, where is she? I'll try to lower my voice. But I can't. Let me see. So, in this feature, all you need to do is, di ba sabi, nag-error dun sa building? Yung tatanggalin lang natin yung building, yung delete button sa building, yun lang ito-press yung delete. Yan.
Sir, yung line kasi sir, I mean yung area.
Yes.
And how to see the area.
Okay.
Ito
So
yung
this time, this time hindi. Ang nangyari kanina, yung drawing nyo na gas station, naka-mark siya as a building. Normally, hindi natin minamark yung buong area as a building. Ano lang, sabihin lang natin, this is a service station, pero the buildings themselves, yung kung nasan lang nakatayo itong mga squares or rectangular shapes na to. Okay? Tapos, if you mistakenly use the line drawing, hindi mo siya mamamark as a building. Okay? Hindi siya mamamark as a building. Dapat area yung ginamit natin. Magkaiba yung line kasi that's meant for lines are linear features. And then polygon. Ang makikita nyo, pag polygon, napapansin niyo na may parang color within the shape, yung edge. That will indicate when it's a polygon or not. So I'm going to share my screen again. Is that okay? Okay, I'm going to share my screen again and repeat what I did earlier para ma-clarify how to do it. I'll share my screen. Okay. And then I'm going back to my editor. Una, ang tanong is, paano mag-delete ng mga bagay na drawing nyo na? If you want to delete the whole thing, first you select the object, kunyari itong building na to, click on it, it will blink in red, and press the delete button on your keyboard. Okay? It's also possible to right-click on an object, right-click, and there is also a delete button for deleting an object. So for example, nakita na natin na may Petron gas station na node point at gusto natin siyang i-convert into a polygon, an area. What you can do is first draw the polygon that you want. So ito yung na-drawing natin kanina. And then you can use your keyboard and press the shift key and then press the point for Petron and then right click and click on merge. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Yung unang station na nandun kanina, ni-reuse natin, ginamit natin uli yung information na yon to create the gas station or Petron. Yung service station para mag-match. Okay, so I will do all the things we did earlier again para mas malinaw. Okay, anong gusto kong i-drawing? Anong gusto kong i-mapa? I want to map the whole service station. I want to map the building that represents these two areas. And then I want to map the data that I saw from this photo, from Mapillary, the compressor and the tap on this building. You should be able to do it this way. First, click on area and try to draw the outline of the service station. Okay, so we're just trying to interpret imagery. Minsan malinaw yan, minsan madali, minsan mahirap. After drawing the object, we want to tag it. So this is a gas station, and you said it's Petron, so we can look for Petron. If you cannot find the brand that you're after, you have to look for the generic tag. So kung Petron, gas station, so look for gas station. Since you know it's a Petron, we'll click on Petron. Click Petron gas station. And then if you have additional information, you can add it here. Kunyari, kilala niyo yung company or operator ng gas station, you can add that here. Or ang street niya, it's E.O. Perez, so you can add that. If you know the house number, you can add that. But those are optional details. And then next is, I want to draw the building. So I can click on area again. And then click on the corners, and then double click on the last one, and then I can search for building. If I want to be very specific about a building, pwede kong sabihin na this is roof type of building. What's a roof type of building? These are buildings without walls. Yung nakikita natin usually sa mga gas stations. And then mapansin niyo, gawin natin mas obvious, hindi perfect, hindi rectangular or orthogonalized yung aking drawing. So you can manually move that if you want to improve it. Or if you use the context menu, you can look for the square, click on the square option. Automatically, siya yung mag-reshape ng building para maging rectangular siya. So, mas maganda of course if you can make sure that your drawings are orthogonalized or rectangular. And the shortcut for that is square, Q. So, para ma-perfect siya. And then add area here. Kunyari ito, mali yung aking na-drawing. Tatlo lang yung corners na na-drawing ko. Paano ko dadagdag yung isang corner ng building? This triangle, I hope you can see the small triangle on my screen, it means that you can drag that part and create a new corner. So, pwede kang maganon. And then, right-click square, and then select the tag that we'll use, building. Hindi natin alam kung anong building siya. And then we can click on point again to add, say, the compressor, compressed air. Click point. And then add the water tap. Search for water tap. So, sa drawing, sa photo natin, ang water tap nasa left, nasa right ng compressor. So, pwede natin i-move sa right para mas accurate yung drawing natin. And when I'm happy with this, na-add ko na yung basic information, I can now add save. Click on save. So I'm going to save this. Sabihin ko, added Petron station. Petron station using Mapillary. Using Mapillary photo. So I don't have to mention that it came from Mapillary kasi nakadagdag na rito sa sources. Pero okay lang na sabihin para malinaw sa ibang mappers na kaya ko nalaman na gas station yan kasi tinignan ko yung litrato from Mapillary. And then you click on upload. And now your changes are added into OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap. In OpenStreetMap, the changes we add are called changes. Ibig sabihin nun yun yung parang version ng document na ginawa mo. And then after a few minutes, no, itong mapa na to, magpapalit na yan to render the area correctly. For example, yung area at yung building na yan, ganito yung mapa ngayon. If I do a refresh, you should be able to see the new outline of the gas station and the buildings we added. Wala pa. So this will take a few minutes. While we're waiting for that, could one of you guys start as an exercise? Do this neighboring gas station. Ganun din yung gagawin natin. We add the building and the outline of the gas station and then add the name if you know what it is. Sino ang gustong gumawa? And I want you to show your screen when you do that. Any volunteers?
Yes, sir.
Sige. When you're ready, please share your screen so para makita natin kung ano yung ginagawa mo.
Yung na-upload na, sir?
Ay, hindi. Na-upload mo na ba? Yung habang ginagawa mo yung next gas station.
Sige. Share ka lang.
Sige. Dali lang, ha? Okay. Sige. So, ganito muna ang gawin natin. Sino ba ito nag-share? Ace?
Yes, sir. Me again.
Dahil, di ba, ano to, binuksan mo ba uli yung ano? Binuksan mo. Nirefresh mo yung area. Kasi yan yata yung edit na ginawa ko. Tama ba?
Follow lang kasi ako eh.
Oo. So, ganun lang yun. Kunyari, isang user na saved na, as soon as it's been saved, another user can modify it. No? Yung edits na yan ay makikita. So, ang gagawin mo is, ito yung gagawin mo. Itong nakikita mong susunod na gas station, yung katabi ng Petron sa right, I want you to draw, tama ba na gas station siya? Kasi based on the Mapillary photo, it's a gas station, right? Nakita niyo ba yung photo? Yeah, ang pangalan niya ay nakita. Yeah, nakikita niyo yan, nasa right. Do you guys remember what the name of the gas station is? Pero don't worry. If you don't remember what it is, tapos medyo malabo sa litrato, pwede pa rin natin i-drawing yung gas station without the name. So let's do just that. Blue gas station. Okay, make sure that the capitalization is correct. Ang brand ba niya, Blue Gas lang? Blue. Can you,
we cannot identify the name of the gas station, sir.
Okay. Sige. If that is the case, na hindi nyo ma-identify, there is no need to add gas station to the name. Kasi, if you scroll your button up, sinabi na natin, click, yeah. Then scroll button sa panel. Di ba tinag na natin siya as gas station? Remember? After drawing the outline, we already tagged the element as a gas station. There. Yung nasa taas, yung feature type, it says gas station. So, it's redundant to say, to add a name to the gas station na gas station siya. Because we already called it a gas station. So, pwede lang alisin lang yun. And then later, when we have better information, we can add the name. Okay? So, okay lang siya na walang pangalan kapag incomplete pa yung information ninyo. Tapos, I also would like you to add the buildings. Para may nakikita akong buildings sa photos eh. Yan. I think there are 3 buildings there. Try to trace the building. Di ba building pa yung nandun sa lampas ng konti? Ayan. Okay. Okay, comment. Sige, square. Lampas na. Yung pang-apat, yan. So, pag nakita niya na ang feature type ay area pa lang, ibig sabihin hindi pa siya na-tag. Okay, question. Do you have any comments to what Ace did? Huwag ka muna mag-save, Ace. Do you have any comments about how Ace mapped the features on the map? Ayun. Wala na. So, nakita ko, kinorek naman ni Ace. Kanina, in-identify niya yung building na nagbiblink na red as a gas station. So, normally, we use the gas station for the whole outline of the service station. Pero kung may mga buildings within the service station, you just mark them as buildings. Tapos the whole gas station itself is not marked as a building. Parang that's very rare. Most of them have open areas, so you just call them as buildings. Tapos, if you're interested, kunyari, ano ba bang kulang dyan? Did you add the street name to the gas station? So select on the gas station element, yeah, and then look for address street. And you can add or select EO Perez. So automatically, if the street names are correct, it will automatically add it into the fields, so you can easily select it. And then, may mga additional pang options dyan na pwede nyo idagdag na information. But for now, all we need to do is just identify what they are. And then, after you've done adding the information, click on the Save button sa upper right corner under near your name. Yeah, click Save. And then, in your change and comments, sabihin mo na, I added a new gas station or added a gas station. Then upload. So there. That's your first edit. So it's almost 4 o'clock. Mahaba yung ano natin. Ano nangyari dyan? But I've managed to show you how to add basic information into OpenStreetMap. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to add cycleways on the map using Mapillary. But before I do that, do you have any questions so far? So yun na. Napansin niyo sa mapa na yung kaninang building na ginawin natin has been is now shown on the map. Tapos yung bagong dagdag na gas station A ay hindi pa naayos. Ang nalimutan mong gawin A kanina is to remove the point or the node. Kasi duplicate na siya eh. It started out as a point, tapos nag-drawing ka ng area. What you could have also done is, there. Remove yung node for the unnamed gas station. Yung nandito sa walang pangalan. Click, delete. Tapos, mukhang nadagdagan din yung mga amenities natin. So, alisin natin yung duplicate. Okay. Tapos, kunyari, okay na. Click mo i-save. Ang sasabihin mo naman dyan, remove, click save. Click on the save button. Sabihin mo, remove duplicate element. Or if you want to be specific, remove duplicate compressor or water. Pwede pa rin ang remove duplicated element. Ayan. So, nakapag-edit na si A at nadagdag na niya yung gas station. Hindi natin na-idagdag actually para nakagamit na tayo ng area, yung polygon. Nakagamit na tayo ng nodes. Ang hindi natin nagamit ay line. So, could one of you, si Sir Eugene naman na pa-demo natin. Sir Eugene, nandiyan ka pa?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, pwede,
Sir.
ikaw naman yung mag-demo. May papadagdag tayo dun sa same area.
Sige po.
Sige. Just share your screen.
Okay po, nakikita po ba yung screen namin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, ito po.
Sige, sir. So dito, sir, ang kulang dito, can you guess kung ano yung kulang natin sa Petron gas station? Did anyone try to guess kung ano yung kulang?
By the way, sir, question lang po.
Sige, sir. Go ahead.
Hindi po ba nag-edit po kayo nitong Petron?
Yes.
Ito?
Yes.
And then sila Sir Ace po nag-edit din?
Yes.
Hindi po ba mag-overlap yung corrections ng data?
Oo. Ang mangyayari niyan, unang-una, in practice, we try to avoid editing the same area at the same time. Kasi ang mangyayari, napansin nyo, di ba? Nagkaroon tayo ng 4 na air compressor, 2 compressor, 2 tubig, water tap. So what happened was, nag-save na ako initially, tapos nag-edit na kayo nang hindi pa nagsisave, na wala pa nung 2 yon. Nung mag-save sila, nadagdag yun sa mapa. So it's really very difficult for the system to detect if the change set is still open. That means you haven't saved it, and two people are trying to edit the same area. There's always a potential of unahan kayo kung sino yung nag-edit. Kasi ang lalabas
Ah,
nun, doble-doble yung data. But because we are just doing this exercise, okay lang yon kasi makokontrol natin. But ideally, you should avoid working in the same area at the same time so that you don't duplicate each other's work.
okay, sige po.
Sige, sir. So, anyone, what do you think is missing for the Petron gas station? Teka, sir, ito ba yung data kanina before mag-start mag-edit si ano? Yung pinapakita mo sa screen? Si A?
Yes, ito po yung screen na ginamit. Kasi po yung ang Sir Ace is a different PC po.
Yes. Okay lang, sir. Okay, ganito yan, sir. So, ang gagawin muna natin, para makita niyo yung ginawa na namin earlier, click the OpenStreetMap icon to the upper left corner of your screen. Yung, para mag-exit tayo, click on the OpenStreetMap na pangalan. Upper left corner.
Ito?
Yes, sir.
Ito. And then, hindi po yung side.
Yeah. Tapos, leave. Choose leave, sir. Yan. Right. Tapos ngayon, sir, ang gagawin natin, you can zoom in itong area na nakikita mo sa map.
Opo.
Yan na ba yung todo? Pag yan na siya, then click on the edit button.
So ba, edit button?
Edit button
ito.
is the, yes, sir. That is how you edit OpenStreetMap directly. Tapos, click on discard my changes, sir. Kasi naalala niya yung huli niyang ginawa sa memory. So, select discard. Ayan. So, now, if you zoom in, makikita mo na yung mga edits na na-save namin earlier. Andiyan na yung building. Di ba kanina wala?
Yes po.
Andiyan na yung gas station. So, habang kanina, ang nangyari sa inyo, nakabukas ka, naka-edit mode, but you edited it before Ace added the data. So, naalala lang niya yung previous state. Now that you refresh your screen, makikita mo na yung edits ngayon. Okay.
Okay.
What we want to do now is to add a missing element on the map. Does anyone have any idea what else is missing for Petron gas station?
Ito po, ito.
Yeah, may isang missing element dyan. Na papansin nyo ba?
Hindi po.
Hindi. Sige. Ang kulang dito ay para rin magamit natin yung line button, kulang to ng highway, ng service road.
Yes.
Oo. Napansin nyo na meron dito sa kabilang gas station, di ba? Okay. So, ang gawin nyo, sir, if you're familiar, kung hindi, click on the line button and draw where the highway will pass through within the Petron service station.
Hindi po ba siya dapat mag-overlap? So, dito po mag-start.
Hindi ko makita. Saka nag-start.
Ito. Ay, sorry. Ito ba? Ito ba, sir? Ito yung may crosshair?
Actually, hindi ko makita. But go ahead. Usually, highways will connect with other... okay.
Ito? Ito ba, sir?
Yeah. Pwede, sir. Ganyan mag-drawing. Pero ano ba yung drawing nyo? Are you drawing a service road?
Yes, sir. Yung sinabi niyo po na highway.
Okay. Ang iisip ko ay you should draw a service road within Petron. Para to access Petron, saan dadaan yung mga customer?
Dito. It's either dito.
Yes, sir.
Or dito.
Yes, sir. So, lalabas ng ano pangalan ng street na to? Lugarta Avenue, may connection dyan, tapos go to Petron, and then to EO Perez.
Okay. So, dito po. Dito.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm just going to draw a line. Here?
draw a line. Yes. So, click on, i-connect nyo, sir, sa Lugarta Avenue. Escape.
Ah, dito ang,
Press escape, sir. Sige, okay lang.
and then,
You can drag the node if you want to connect it to eOperes. And
connect it here.
hanggang dyan lang, sir, kasi may divider yung kalsada eh. So hanggang dyan lang yan, di ba?
So, okay na to?
Yes, sir.
Ay,
Sir, make sure that the roads connect to other roads.
hmm. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. So, kapag ka-drenag mo, di ba, magko-connect siya automatically, didikit siya yung sa kalsada.
Yes, sir.
Next, after drawing, the next step is tagging it, like we did with the point in the area. So, for this type of road, please select the feature type as service road. Dito sa kaliwa, sir.
Kaliwa.
Yan. Type in service road.
Asa ba?
Type na, sir. Pwede nyo dyan sa hanapin, pero pwede ka rin mag-type. Minor yan, sir. Minor road.
Ito? Minor road, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Service road. Yan. Okay. So, tas pwede pa, if you want, you can adjust the service road parang nearer to the or under the roof, di ba? Pero as a first version, this is okay. Ayan. Okay, so make sure that your road doesn't connect to the building. Mababangga yung mga mag-drive niyan kapag mag-connect siya.
Okay na to, sir?
Yeah, mukhang okay naman. Okay, so for service roads, usually walang mga pangalan yan siya. No? So you can leave it as is, madali lang yan siya. And then what you can do, sir, is click on the save button.
Here. Kulang pa na change set comment. So,
yeah, sa change set comments, pwede mong sabihin, added a service road. Okay. So change set comments are always the notes we leave to describe what we did on the map. Upload. Ayan. So, chinek ni sir yung check doon. Someone review my work. Maraming mga bago, ginagawa yan siya. Pero ang problema niyan, hindi ganun karami yung volunteers natin sa Pilipinas. So, you're not assured that someone will check it. Pero sa tingin ko, acceptable na yan for now. Okay. So, any questions so far?
So far, sir, so good siguro. Okay
So far, so good. Kasi alas 4 na, napahaba tayo. Pero before we go, I'd like to show you how to add cycleways on the road sa data na ginagawa natin. Para you can start editing this on your own or we can recheck your stuff later. So, I'll share my screen. Okay. So, balik muna ako sa Mapillary Street imagery natin. So, kunyari, nag-review pa ako ng mga photos and I can see that wala talagang bollards pa sa eOperes.
Wala po, sir, kasi ano to, shared lane.
Okay.
If may bollards, may bollard po dun sa Uano Avenue.
So dito, meron ba tayong mga markings sa kalsada that indicates that these are bike lanes? O paint, ayun.
Ito lang, sir.
Ayan, may mga ganyan na tayo. Sige. how do we add or tell OpenStreetMap that this particular road has a bike lane? So first, hanapin natin yung area. We can use Mapillary or we can go directly to OpenStreetMap. So kunyari ang gagawin ko, direkta. Hindi ako tumingin sa photo. Dito lang ako sa OpenStreetMap. Dito sa OpenStreetMap, pwede kang maghanap ng kahit ano. So kunyari, I'll start somewhere in Cebu. And then I'll say, I'm looking for E.O. Perez Mandaue. So yun, ginala niya ako sa E.O. Perez, tapos pwede na akong mag-edit dito. To start editing, we click on the edit button. We edit with ID. Kaya ako prines yung down arrow option kasi pag ang default na editor ko yung tinatawag na JOSOM. At pag yun na pinindot ko, iba yung lalabas. Baka malito pa kayo. Okay. So, dun sa edit ni Sir earlier, ito na, nakikita ko na rin, di ba? Ano yung napansin ko? May nadoble na building dito. Pwede natin yan malaman kung sino gumawa niyan. Yung isa, gawa ni A. Tapos, yung isa, gawa ko. So what we will do is that we're going to delete the duplicate element. Okay? Para maayos yung building. Tapos sir, example lang naman, kung ako yung nag-drawing yung service road na drawing ni Sir Eugene, pwede ko dito start banda yung yung kalsada or somewhere here. Bali, the service road should at least give an idea paano ma-access yung saan makapasok yung mga sasakyan. But that's an example, yung ginawa ni Sir Eugene is already okay. So, back to how to add a bike lane. So, is it correct that the bike lane starts from the corner of Logarta Avenue until the stretch of E.O. Perez?
Until Mandaue po.
Until Mandaue. So hanggang dito lang. Hanggang paliko. Okay.
Ito po na ano? Nang walang hanggan.
Sa dulo ng walang hanggan. Sige. So gagawin muna natin dito. Ayan, tago ko lang yan. Make sure na yung in-edit natin, di ba pag nag-click tayo ng isang object, nagbi-blink siya, nagiging red. Ayan. Katulad niyan. So dito yan lang ang sinelect ko. I'm just double checking to make sure that the editing I'm doing is not going to affect the whole of E.O. Perez. Baka umabot kasi ako dito sa Owano Avenue na wala pa naman. But the process of creating a bike lane is similar. So I return my editor. I'll select the road. No? So I want to add a bike lane to this road. And then I will scroll down on my left panel, look for add field. Ito nakikita nyo, add field. Tapos ang gagawin nyo dyan, type bike lane. Ayan. So, ang tanong, along E.O. Perez, where is the bike lane? Is it on the left or the right side of that road?
Nasa right po.
Right. So we're on the right, ang lalagay natin dyan, right side, select lane. Okay, ganito yon. Sinabi ni Sir kanina na it's a shared lane, di ba? Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Sa OpenStreetMap, meron kaming common definition of terms. So minsan, hindi ito nag-drive sa mga local standards. So, ang best niyan para mag-reflect ng tama ay to follow the standard or convention in OpenStreetMap. So, for example, in this case, what you call a shared lane is actually just a lane in OpenStreetMap. Bakit natin gagawin yon? Para kapag may ibang mapa ang magre-render or mag-display ng map, mag-display to as expected. And it follows the and it is consistent across the globe. Para yung, kunyari, ang shared lane sa Pilipinas ay isa ang ibig sabihin sa shared lane sa Japan or sa Taiwan or wherever. That's what makes OpenStreetMap popular to users is because of the common definitions, because of the conventions, the way maps are rendered or displayed are global. No? So, yung terminologies natin will have to adjust to the OpenStreetMap standard. So, in this case, what we call a shared lane is actually just called a lane. Sabi nga dito, if you select lane, a bike lane is separated from auto traffic by a painted line, which is the case here. So, after selecting that, no, sa other side ng EO Perez, tama na pareho rin, di ba? It's also a
Yes,
bike
sir.
lane.
Kapila.
So, pwede rin ganun ang gawin natin. So, select the street. Here in add field, we make sure that we select bike lanes. Of course, it's on the right side. We click on lanes. And then, let's review our data. Okay. You will notice that this segment of the street is not previously selected. So, pag clinic natin yan, wala pa siyang bike lane. So, ulitin lang natin ulit. Bike lane. And then, it's on the right. Sa lane. So, yun na. Nadagdag na natin yung bike lanes along EO Perez simply by that. Alam ko na that information could have been done by you guys without the Mapillary photos. But if we want to have the assistance of the local citizens, their participation, we want to make sure that they have the tools or the imagery. Kaya yung unang session natin was about street level imagery. Tapos, while you're in the OpenStreetMap editor, sabihin yung, for example, na, nasa na yung Mapillary photos ko? Hindi ko na makita. Paano yun makikita? To display all the Mapillary photos in the area, you click on the map data, and then make sure that Mapillary is selected. Under photo overlay, select Mapillary, and then map features and traffic time. So kung merong map data na available, makikita natin dyan. At yung photos na makikita natin dito sa kalye, ayan yung bike lane, dadagdag na natin sa map. Okay, another example. We know that the photos here, along this street, there are electric lights, there are street lights. How do we add that information on OpenStreetMap? Pwede tayong magdagdag ng individual street lamp on OpenStreetMap. So for example, let's review the photo here. Okay. Hanap tayo iba pa. Ayan. Kunyari, dito sa intersection na to, itong poste na to, ay may street lamp. I could add a street lamp. Okay? That's okay. You're mapping individual lampposts. What if you don't want to add lampposts? What you want to say is, that street has street lights, but I don't want to have lampposts. What you could do is select the street again and add it as an attribute. So select the overlay, look for add field, and type in lit. Lit, ibig sabihin may ilaw. Lit, and then lagay natin yes. So ngayon, this stretch of EO Perez on the map is now identified as a street with lights. And then we can do the same thing here along the other side of the road. Add lit. Lagay natin yes. And same here. Lit. Tapos yes. And then what I could do is click save and say added bike lanes along EO Perez. Add bike lanes and list attribute along, and then I could click upload. Pero ang gagawin ko, as a final exercise, ganito. Si Sir Eugene can do the lower portion of EO Perez. I want you to add the bike lanes for that. Tapos si Ace ang mag-add dun sa opposite street ng EO Perez. Do the same thing. Add bike lanes and the lit attribute. Can you guys do that?
Okay, sir. We'll try.
Sige, go. So, magkaiba kayo ha. Magkalapit kayo ng area. Pero make sure na huwag niyong galawin yung assignment ng isa. Para makapag-save kayo ng maayos. Is that clear?
Katong ako. Ang kay Sir JP, ako ang batot. So, right there.
Sino pa ba nag-edit? Meron pa ba tayong nag-edit na pwedeng bigyan ng assignment?
Pwede. Gusto mo? Gusto nyo? Pwede na. Sir, kisa ba? Sir Stong. Si Sir Stong pala gagawa, sir.
Okay, sige. Sige. Para yung iba naman.
Sige. Ikaw, ma'am. Kada, ali. Si Mamay. Sige, Mamay. Ali, Mamay. Ay mo, ha. Kani siya.
Kani.
Can you share your screen?
Isa ba nag-share screen ka mo? Sige, kamo.
Para makita ko rin.
Ay, ikaw na sa.
Ano, sir?
Share the screen.
Okay.
Share.
Yan. So, sino tong editor natin? Si Sir Eugene to.
Si Mamay po, sir.
Hi, sir.
Iba? Okay. So, hi.
Hi, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Sige, ma'am.
Sige. So, ano po ulit yung gagawin, Sir Erwin?
Yung assignment mo, sir, idadagdag yung bike lane for EO Perez dito sa lower part ng EO, yung malapit sa gas station. Yung other street, sila A. Huwag niyong i-edit yung ibang part.
Sa may ikuan.
Kanang nasa ubos. Yeah.
Kani siya.
Okay,
Yes.
gani. Yes.
Sige po, paano po ulit gawin, sir?
Okay. So, remember that you want to edit EO Perez, so you select it. Click on EO Perez. I-click mo siya. Yeah, EO Perez. Yan.
Kana.
Okay.
Yan. So, paano mo malaman kung nakaselect? Yan yung may red na nagbi-blink. Tama?
Tama, sir.
Okay. Yes. Tapos, on your editing panel is the left part of your screen. Scroll down dito sa left panel. Leftmost panel.
Here.
Yeah, scroll down. Look for add field. Nasa bottom yan, there. Add field. There. Okay. You want to look for bike lane.
Okay.
Yeah. Tapos, based on the photo or based on your information, the bike lane is on the right, right?
Okay.
Left or right?
Right, sir.
Right, sir.
Right. So, tapos, it's a lane. Okay. And then next, so dadagdag na, ganun lang kasimple. Dadagdag na yung bike lane for EO Perez. Next is, I want you to add the attribute for indicating there are lights along this street. So, ang pangalan nun, lit. L-I-T.
Lit.
Sir.
Lit.
L-I-T.
Lit.
L-I-T.
Yeah.
There.
Yan.
Then,
And
yes.
then, make sure that it says yes or check mark. Yan. Kapag unknown, ang value, ibig sabihin, hindi mo alam kung may ilaw o wala. Kapag no ang value niyan, alam mo na walang ilaw. But since we have the photos that shows the street lamp, you can say it's yes. And then click on, now that you've added it, click on, sige sir, isa pa ma'am. I want you to show the Mapillary photos taken along E.O. Perez. How do you display the photos? So go to map data, yan. Go to photo overlays. Yeah, and enable Mapillary. Yan. Maski yan lang, pwede na. So, makikita nyo ngayon, there are green dots on your screen. Yeah, if you click on any of those dots, it will show you a photo. Please click on one. One photo. Yung first photo, dyan sa street mo. Which one did you select? Ayan. Okay. Okay, sige. So, according to that photo, nakikita mo yung puno dyan, ma'am? Sa photo, may puno. Malapit sa may sign ng vulcanizing.
Yes,
Yes. Okay. Tingin ka ngayon sa satellite imagery. Nakikita mo yung puno na nakikita mo dyan sa Mapillary photo? Okay. If you can see that tree, I want you to add a point and add a tree in that position.
Yes, sir. Aray lang.
Point lang man siya. So, dihan lang.
Aray lang.
Tanong na.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Pwede ka pa mag-zoom in para ma-adjust mo ng maayos yung location. So, zoom in using your mouse. Yan. Para mas madali mo ma-adjust. Ayan. So, makikita natin na may puno. At after adding a point, you have to tell OpenStreetMap what tag to use. So, what do you think is the tag for a tree?
Oh, tree. Plant. 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 Tree.
Plant ba? Tree na lang. Tree. Hanapin mo lang. Tree. There.
Tree.
Ayan. So, ano lang yan? Pinakita ko lang na hindi naman critical pa yung pagmapa ng puno. But the principles are the same whenever you want to add a feature, di ba? Kanina, we added compressed air. It's the same. If, for example, you want to add a convenience store, it's the same thing. So, after adding that element, I want you to save your work. How do you save your work?
Here, sir.
Click save. Okay. And then comment. Please describe what you just did.
Added bike lanes. Light attributes.
Lit attribute.
Light attributes. And a tree.
And a tree. Oo. Para pag nag-inventaryo kayo ng puno sa Mandaue, mamapa nyo na lahat.
Oh.
Or maski yung mga historical trees nila, and then click upload.
Dili mo? Federal din.
Okay. So congratulations, ma'am. That was your first edit in OpenStreetMap.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? So mahirap ba mag-edit?
Hirap din, sir.
Meron ba?
Okay. So far, ang ginawa natin, mag-add ng data, pero it's also possible for you to add or modify existing data. So, isang exercise for, may volunteer ba tayo?
Come on. Saka.
Ano may volunteer?
Sige sir. Sige, alit eh.
Okay, sige.
Alit eh. Dili ka eh. Para
Okay.
Doon ko. Coach. Asawa ko ani.
Okay. Ma'am, ano pangalan nyo?
Cecil, Wano.
Cecil? Cecil?
Yes.
Okay, Cecil. Okay. I want you to, pwede ka magpunta sa neighborhood mo? Is that okay? Kahit hindi doon sa bahay ninyo. basta dun lang sa general area na familiar ka. What I want you to do is add a, for example, a pharmacy in your neighborhood kung wala pa. So first, I want you to click on the OpenStreetMap icon on the upper left corner of your screen.
Iba, dire.
Yan. Lalabas, we're going to exit the editor. Okay. First, I want you to look for your street name na malapit dun sa pharmacy na gusto mo idagdag. Do you know the name of the street?
Hernan Cortez.
Ha? Kapag hindi mo alam yung street, you can manually search for the map. Pero mas matagal. Pwede mo hanapin yung barangay mo or yung street name.
Street.
Herman Cortez. Okay na yan, ma'am. Subukan mo Herman Cortez lang. Malapit lang pala dyan. Tama ba? Okay, so look for the area. Please look for the area where... Is that correct? Is that the correct street you're looking for, Hernan Cortez?
Cortez, yes.
Medyo mahaba kasi yung Hernan
Mahaba yung
Cortez.
Hernan, merong
Okay. Hanapin mo, ma'am, yung neighborhood nyo banda. Or kung saan ka familiar lang.
Banilad na mo.
Sige, i-scroll down tayo para mo gamay. Ang yung asa dapit, hindi mo pakita ang ganda dapit. Click din niya, gira. I-click lang tayo niya, gira, padong. Ana, pakita ang asa dapit din niya.
Katul. Go, Ma'am Cecil.
Layo pa.
Asa dapit ito.
Akbang sa layon tiger, katul.
Si oil, vanilla. Little Angels Montessori.
Ayan, is that the area? Okay. Question, ma'am. So now you're looking at your neighborhood. Zoom in. Could you zoom in the area? Please zoom in. Ayan. Sige. Okay. So the area is mostly blank, no? Could I ask if there's a feature, an important feature that's missing there? For example, pharmacy or barangay health center. Diyan sa area lang na yan. Anong kulang?
School.
Money.
Ang missing.
What's missing?
Giri lang.
Uy, nga, waiting.
So ano? So guys, what's missing there? Ano yung missing dyan?
Identify na ba ito?
Banta lang na yung...
Tabang.
Ano lagi ka rin? Itong sa ganun nga pa.
Pharmacy.
Ang pharmacy na.
Sige, kung hindi pharmacy, ano yung kulang? Anong palagay niyo kulang na element na wala dyan?
Laundry, pharmacy.
Outlet si Ma'am Rosie.
Aros pharmacy ba? Mao man yung pharmacy.
So there's a pharmacy missing in that area?
Missing man kanya ganung identified man nimo.
Kanang na, pero wala makita.
Wala na makita. Okay, sige.
As long as it's not yet on the map. We just want to add, as an exercise, we want you to add a feature that's not there yet, but based on your personal knowledge, kasi you're from the neighborhood. So let's say it's a pharmacy, or it could be a convenience store, something missing that we want to add on the map.
Ano, tapad naman.
Along goon jud siya.
Di man ang wala man nabutang di ati ka.
No, wala man niya.
Wala
Identify mo
sa
niya.
inyo ha, bagatong bikiri, wa man apil din na kato na lang.
Asa man gito? Sa inyo or
Katong dool man sa ilaha.
sige, doon lang sa inyo ha. Doon na lang.
Katong dapat sa warehouse ba?
Doon na lang.
Oh, diya dapat.
Kana dire, ada na lang. Atbang niya sa kanti. Atbang
Naman
sa
sa diya ang bikiri.
Tonik to bari sa una. Atbang ni warehouse. Oh, warehouse man ni. Kuya sa kanya na lang, warehouse dako kayo.
Sige ka na.
Ganun lang.
Sige ka warehouse.
Okay, so is that the area?
Yeah, warehouse.
Okay, warehouse. Walang mga shops or stores in that area. Are there any stores or shops there?
Occupants.
No occupants? Okay, occupant ng warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you want to edit that area, click on the edit button. Edit. Yeah. So normally in OpenStreetMap, we don't encourage people to share accounts. Pero but since this is a training exercise, okay lang na nakikita natin. But you should not use the account of other people. Okay, ma'am. So who is using this warehouse? Anong pangalan ng warehouse na yan?
Sir?
Sabi nyo, di ba, itong warehouse na to? What is the name of the occupant?
Benedict Ventures? No, Benedict Ventures itong warehouse.
Hindi, ganito na lang para madali. Can you recall any feature that's missing there? It could be a convenience store, a pharmacy. That's not yet on the map. We just want to show an example of how you can add data on the map based on your personal knowledge.
Oh, ang katong bikiri, wala pa manabutang diya. O, kato na lang.
Yan, natangtang mo lang bukan. Wala lang man napikiri. Dito.
Ha? Oo. Wala na
Tangan.
butang. Asa mo din? Additional ninyo ba?
Ini naman dito. Tagila na diha bisan sa. Ya atong batanggan dito. Talay ko na.
Okay, wait. Before you add anything, what do you want to add? Could you share with us what you want to add first?
Bakery.
A bakery. Okay. So you can zoom in para madali mag-drawing. If you know the extent of the building, it's not a very small building for the bakery. Okay. So you can use an area if you know the extent of the boundaries. If you're not sure, a point is also okay. After drawing the element, the geometry,
Sige, point na lang tayo.
point ka lang.
Sige. Point.
Yan. Point.
Click.
Ay, kung dako day ang area mo na, kuan yung mga ganiton ka ng mga line-line.
Polygon. Okay, so it's an area now. On your left side of the screen and the panel, search for, sabi nyo bakery, so search for bakery.
Bakery.
Search.
Yeah.
Search bakery.
Bakery, yan. There, bakery.
So,
Click on bakery. Yeah, click the button. There you go. What is the name of the bakery?
Marge Bakery. Asa dire?
Ay, ka na. Type.
Marge Bakery.
Okay. Please make sure that your capitalization is correct. Para maganda naman tignan yung mapa natin. Okay. Tapos, alam mo ba yung house number or hindi? Pag hindi, okay lang to leave it blank. But you can add the street name. It's Hernan Cortez.
Street. Address na suppose. Oo, kami.
Pilapan siya ang iyang information.
Para madali siyang mahanap. O, select mo na lang yan para hindi mo na i-type lahat. Tapos, so makikita mo, may iba pang attributes na pwedeng idagdag. Telephone number, website. So those information are optional if you have them. But what could be helpful is, alam mo ba kung ano yung operating hours ng bakery?
Ay, kung ano lang na,
9 to 9. Tama na 9. 9 sa gabi, kaya tayo COVID.
9 to 9.
9 to
9 a.m. to... yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, first select Hernan Cortez Street, tapos scroll down. Yan. Sa hours, ang pag-format ng hours natin dito, 24-hour format. So, kung 9 to 9, ang isa-type mo dyan, 09:00 for 9 a.m. Ayan. Ayun. Yung unang option.
Kanang Monday to Sunday na sa gusto.
Monday to Sunday ba siya open?
Yeah, Monday to Sunday.
So correct. So ang interpretation ng information na dinagdag nyo is, the store is open from Monday to Sunday from 9 in the morning until 2100. 9 o'clock p.m. yun ang ibig sabihin. Yes. Tapos, is there anything else you'd like to add? Kung kunyari, alam niyo yung telephone, you can add that. Pero kung wala na kayong alam, you can leave it blank. So now you can click on save unless may gusto ko pang idagdag. Ano ang katabi ng bakery? Wala na. Okay.
Ano lang.
Okay, so kung wala na siyang katabi, you can click on the save button.
Save button.
Upper right corner, save. And then, sa change and comment, describe what you just did.
Dire.
Added.
Asa ko din. Added.
Bakery.
Bakery.
Added a bakery
And bakery. Tapos, upload na.
And then upload, yes. So, ayan. Are there any questions about how to edit OpenStreetMap so far?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Is there any other questions? No.
Yeah, so, ang mangyayari niyan, says you,
Yes, sir.
yung dinagdag mo na bakery ngayon ay pwede nang hanapin ng tao sa OpenStreetMap. If you search for Marge Bakery, lalabas na siya kasi nadagdag mo na. Okay? So, the principle of adding and editing data in OpenStreetMap are the same, whether that's a point, a line, or an area. Are there any more questions about editing for today?
No. No, none so far, sir.
None. Okay. So, I'm done with the basics of OSM editing. What I would like to suggest that you guys do is, before the next session, kung ano man yung maging session natin next time, I want you to visit your neighborhood. Yung kung saan kayo familiar. No? And then see if there's any missing data that you can add. Especially those features that are useful for other people. Yung, kunyari, hospital, clinic, pharmacy, convenience stores, yung ginagamit nating amenities in our day-to-day activities. And then we can review that data you added next time we meet. If you have questions, there's always, if you look on your screen right now, yung low right panel, there's a question mark and a book. That's the help screen. You can check on the help button. Yeah. If you click on help, then there will be additional information for you to check on if you need any help. But the basics are there. We were able to add bike lanes for today. So I guess pwede na mag-start na mag-map ng partial sa bike lane. At tignan nyo rin sa mga neighborhood ninyo kung ano yung kulang or pwede nyo ma-improve. And perhaps we can discuss that in our next meeting. What do you think, Sir Eugene?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So let me see. Please make sure that the data that you add in OSM are as accurate as possible. No, we don't want to add false information in OSM. And then, if there are no more questions, I think we're done for today. And Sir Eugene, let me know if it's possible to have a meeting ba today.
I don't know yet, sir, if Sir Marlo is still around because perhaps he's having also another meeting.
Yun lang. Bali, sir, yung tanong ko lang is maski kayo na lang mag-discuss ni Sir Marlo at you can email me. I'm only wondering if ano yung plans natin. Kala ko kasi maka-join si Sir Ellie ngayon. Mukhang hindi siya naka-join. Yung planner natin to conduct a webinar with the biking community, mga mobility enthusiasts. Ano ba yung next steps natin for that?
I guess you need to talk with Architect Cha, sir, because she was the one who is in charge with the bike lane network.
Okay. Sige.
If you wanted to, I can just call her up. She's in the other room.
Okay. Sige, sir. Kung, or we can just we can just find another time for a meeting. Pero yung, basically, sir, yung question ko lang is, ano na yung plans natin to engage the local community para mag-participate. Maski dun muna sa bike lane na target natin at we can offer the webinars for them.
For a while, sir, ha? Sadali lang.
Okay. Sige, sir.
Ma'am Cha, pwede mag-istorya si Sir Erwin ni Mukadiyot.
Ay, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Oo, sorry, nabigla ka namin na-istorbo. Ngayon kasi, we've been doing these webinars with Team CPDO, but our original arrangement is to find a way to engage the biking community in Mandaue and Cebu. So I was wondering if how we can move forward with engaging the community with the Cebu Leads Foundation, perhaps. Ano ba yung plano natin? How can we do that?
I think, sir, we have kanang partnership naman with external with private establishments.
Mm-hmm. So why are you thinking of private establishments? Meron ba mga biking groups in Mandaue that we can tap?
Yes, sir.
Kasi ma'am, kilala niyo si Sir Ellie?
Sir Ellie Sabina, yes, sir.
Sir Ellie Sabina of Cebu Leads. Parang ang sabi niya kasi yun yung isang strength ng group nila, no? They are already in touch with other biking groups and mobility communities. Perhaps we can coordinate how we could organize a webinar session or activity to help map the bike lanes or help complete the mga bike shops or iba pang biking related facilities in Mandaue.
Okay, sir. Paano lang, coordinate with Sir Sabinan.
Sige ma'am, pero wala pa namang wala pa namang agreement, walang formal agreement with Ellie. Right now ano pa, parang we're just talking about it and determine what our options are.
Okay, sir. I think we need to sir, talk in details sir, moving forward ba?
Yes ma'am, oo. Kasi Sir Eugene,
Yes, sir.
oo, iba yung ating usapan earlier, after we do the initial introduction to your team in CPDO, we're going to work together in engaging the community. I think after this or the next session, parang pwede na tayo dun sa next step na yun na medyo familiar na kayo with the tools. That's why may assignment tayo ngayon para next time ma-determine natin kung how comfortable you are. And then we should be ready to engage the community or other people. Are you guys ready for that stage?
I guess not yet, sir. Because kasi tulad na sinabi ni Sir Marlo, kasi di ba po, meron po kaming project na City Map.
Yes.
And one of those targets of the city planning, since meron din po kasing vision aligned circles na included si bike lane network, right, Ma'am Cha?
Yes, sir.
So kaya po kami sa GIS ng planning tumulong po para lagay po natin yung bike lanes ng Mandaue dito po sa OpenStreetMap. But
okay.
In terms of engaging the bicycle community, I really don't think pa as of this moment, because kaya po kinakausap po kayo kay Ma'am Cha kasi we really don't know. On my part, I do not know of those bike communities. So kaya po pinakausap po kayo kay Ma'am Cha para po kayo yung I really don't know about that bike community, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I see. I think
planning, sir, is focus lang for the input of the bike routes and the other bike infrastructure. But in terms of engaging community, sir, I think wala pa po yung a strategy, sir, how to engage with them, sir.
I see. Okay. Pero yun na kasi yung initial na conversations with Sir Ellie and Sir Woody. Parang sila yung may contact sa community.
Sir Ellie, if meron siyang idea how will be the engagement with the biking community?
May initial conversation naman with Sir Marlo. Siguro Ma'am Cha, you can invite Sir Ellie and si Sir Marlo. We could have a meeting and discuss how we might be able to do that. Kung if that's possible.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Sige. Okay, so that's it for now, I guess. Thank you, Ma'am Cha.
Sige po.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
So, yun po, sir. Actually, we established this putting on the map the bike lanes of Mandaue, so that I guess Sir Marlo's perspective about this is to when bike communities can see, especially the bike communities in Mandaue, can see that there are already in place bike lanes here in Mandaue, they might as well group themselves and talk about how they're going to contribute with OpenStreetMap in terms of that bike lanes that we mapped out. So I guess, sir, we'll just have to talk about it with Sir Marlo, and then he will be the one to suggest the moves that we're going to take, and then from there, I guess we can move on. But as of this time, sir, I'm sorry, but we really wanted this bike lanes of Mandaue be mapped out and put it in OpenStreetMap. So because of that purpose, sir, na para po malaman ng bike community na si Mandaue is really supportive of having bike lanes.
Okay. Yeah. I think ano naman, sir, tama rin naman yung viewpoint nyo na as soon as you can get the data out, people will be more interested in perhaps contributing to OSM. So, ang hinihintay natin is makompleto at least yung bike lanes existing sa Mandaue. And then after that, maybe we can start talking about engaging the community for other details.
Yes po, in fact, we're targeting the whole phase 1 of the bike lane network in Mandaue until Friday of this week. So
okay.
after this one, after this session, sir, we are still going to continue tagging and mapping out those remaining roads that has existing bike lanes na para po mailagay natin sa Mapillary and eventually malagay po natin dun sa OpenStreetMap.
Okay, that's good. Kung at least may target na kayo, yung phase 1, makolect yung imagery at madagdag sa mapa. I guess for now, that will be a good starting point until makapag-usap sila si Leads at sila CPDO about next moves. Sige. I think that's it for now. If you have questions, you can email me if you have any. Pero there's also the OpenStreetMap community on Facebook kung interesado kayo. Tapos always feel free to share yung mga photos or mag-groupie pa pala tayo, ano?
Yes, sir. Can we have it now?
Let's have it now. Sige. Ready na ba? Sino magpupuha? Kayo na.
Sige. Paano nga ba to? Screenshot lang?
Screenshot lang. That's it. Teka lang ha. Makita ko lang yung mukha ko. Okay. I'm ready.
Ayun.
Wait.
Sino yung kumuha? Okay.
Miss po kumuha. Again daw, sir. Again.
Again. Okay. Mahirap yung group chat pag mga malalayo yung mga participants. Hello? Are you still there?
I guess it's okay na, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, sige, thank you. So, yan na lang natin, sir. Coordinate na tayo by email kung if ever there's a next session or if you have concerns about the editing.
Sige po. Because I guess ang dami po naming pag-aralan.
Oo nga. Siguro, we can skip the next meeting. Kayo muna on your own para ma-experience ninyo. Mahaba pa naman yung time. And then, yun ang i-discuss natin next, yung mga issues na ma-encounter ninyo or more advanced topics.
Kasi palagay ko, we really need to practice pa, especially from Mapillary, that thing from Mapillary to OpenStreetMap. So, medyo pa muna namin pag-aralan kasi parang na fast track po, kulang yung oras natin eh.
Oo nga eh. Di bale, sige, kung ano yung kailangan natin next time, let me know by email and I'll adjust to your requirements.
Sige po, we will really keep in touch with you, sir. Thank you, Sir Erwin.
Okay, thank you. That's all for today. Have a safe evening.
Yes po. The YouTube is readily available for download, sir?
Yeah. I can send you the file later today.
Sige po, kasi I guess nag-leave po kasi si Sir Marlo from our discussion because he has to attend to other meeting and he really wanted to watch the video and learn from that. So That's why he asked me if we can download that YouTube file so that we
Yeah.
can watch it later.
Sige, sir. Yung link nandito sa chat ngayon, pwede nyo na mapanood yan ngayon. Pero yung bibigyan ko kayo ng kopya ng download para mas madali sa inyo.
Okay po.
Okay, sir.
Salamat
Good evening.
po, Will. Good afternoon. Thank
Okay,
you so
bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.